Have you ever been in a storm? A big one, with loud thunder, flashing lightning, and strong winds shaking everything? What if you were in a tiny boat, far away from land, and the sea started roaring like a wild beast? That's what happened one night to Jesus and his friends. It started as a calm evening. Jesus had been teaching all day. He was tired, so he said to his disciples, "Let's go to the other side of the lake." The disciples nodded. They were fishermen. They knew the sea. They helped Jesus into a small wooden boat and pushed off. The sun was going down and the breeze was soft. Everything felt peaceful. But far above them, something dark was coming. Suddenly, the wind grew stronger. The water, once calm, turned rough. Black clouds covered the stars. Then came the lightning. Then the thunder. Then the storm. Waves began to crash against the boat. The disciples tried to row, but the wind pushed back harder. The sea tossed them up and down like a toy. Water splashed into the boat. The sails ripped. The boat shook. They were soaked, cold, and terrified. And Jesus, he was asleep. Yes, while the storm roared and the boat rocked, Jesus was sleeping peacefully on a cushion in the back of the boat. The disciples couldn't believe it. They shouted, "Jesus, wake up! Don't you care if we drown?" They were with Jesus, but they didn't trust him. Not really. They forgot who he was. Jesus stood up. He didn't rush. He didn't panic. He looked at the storm. He saw the black waves, the crashing water, the screaming wind. Then he raised his hand and said, "Quiet, be still." And instantly, the wind stopped. The waves became calm. The sea turned flat. The boat no longer rocked. It was like the storm had never been there at all. The disciples stood frozen. Their eyes were wide. Their mouths hung open. "Who is this?" they whispered. "Even the wind and the sea obey him." Jesus turned to them and asked, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" He wasn't just asking about the storm. He was asking about their hearts. The disciples had seen Jesus do many things: heal the sick, make the blind see, even raise the dead. But in this moment, they forgot his power. They didn't believe that he could protect them. They were more afraid of the storm than they trusted Jesus. But now, they were even more amazed. Because who can tell the sea what to do? Only God. Jesus wasn't just a good teacher. He wasn't just a miracle worker. Jesus is God. And that night, on that boat, the sea obeyed its creator. Do you remember the story of Jonah? He was on a boat too, and a big storm came. But Jonah had disobeyed God. He tried to run away from what God told him to do. The storm came because of his disobedience. In Jonah's story, they had to throw him into the sea to calm the storm. But in this story, Jesus isn't running away. He's not hiding from God. Jesus is the one who made the sea. The storm doesn't scare him. He commands it. And it listens. One storm came because someone disobeyed. The other storm stopped because Jesus, full of power and love, spoke one word. That's the difference. Jesus is more powerful than any storm. And when he's with you, there's no reason to be afraid. We all face storms, times when we're scared, confused, or sad. Sometimes we feel alone, or like things are out of control. But if Jesus is in your boat, you're never alone. He may not stop every storm right away, but He promises to be with you through them all. And when He speaks, everything must obey. So, let me ask you something important. Do you believe in Jesus? Do you trust Him even when life gets hard? Or do you sometimes forget, like the disciples did? If the sea listens to Jesus, shouldn't we? Obeying Jesus is the best thing you can ever do. And disobeying Him is dangerous. Just ask Jonah. When you trust Jesus, He brings peace to your heart, even in the biggest storms. And you know what? One of the best ways to stay close to Jesus is to read the Bible every single day. The Bible is full of God's truth, and it shows you who Jesus is. And don't forget to pray. Prayer is talking to Jesus, just like the disciples did on the boat. He listens, He cares, and He answers. So read your Bible, talk to Jesus, trust Him, obey Him, because He's the one who commands the wind and the sea, and He loves you. If you liked this story, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Bible for Little Kids. Give this video a big thumbs up and share it with your friends so more kids can know the power and love of Jesus. See you in the next story. And remember, stay close to Jesus. He calms every storm.